Alma Mater has some great designers on it and a really quality looking box. Does it hold up? Let's find out now. Now, Alma Mater has some great things going for it. It does things in this game that every game needs to do. And let's start with production. Sunken in player boards? You're right, it's got that. I mean, it even takes the bookshelves and like you slide it into the little slots, and it's a good feeling, and it slides right in and goes right out when the turn's over or whenever that part of it is over. And the sunken in detail is perfect, a great production. The insert is so good. I'll even grab it for you. The insert is so good by Game Trays, I believe. I might be wrong, but I think it is. That is so good that it looks like they tested it by putting the things in and then just said, no, it doesn't work, redo it. It looks like some time and effort was made in this, and that is something that games need to do more of. This should be a standard, not an exception. This is fantastic. They even have little books, and the books look like little candy mints when you were younger, at least when I was younger, and a lot of different quality attached to this. The cards have a great material they're made out of. It's just a great production, and it should be the example. Doing this means that it looked like the designers really cared about the production and making sure this game looked good. I mean, I don't even have to be that close up to the picture here to show how much vibrancy and color they put into this. It looks like a Euro game discovered color and did it all at once. And it looks great. Why can't this be more of the gold standard? Sometimes you want to look serious and gritty. Sometimes you want to look like Castles of Burgundy. Can't think why, but it's all there for you. And the great production makes this game a gem and something you want to put on a table in front of people to show off and show them, look what board games can be. Now, the major thing about that is they have some great ideas in this box. Number one, academia is a great theme. It's a really cool idea. It's a great concept, and it's inviting because people like that kind of thing. Sometimes we like to escape in games and talk about things and do things that we don't really want to do in real life. We don't want to go to school, all those types of things. It's inviting in that sense, and the theme drips. The theme is presented so well, for a Eurogame especially, but in general. You have professors who are teaching classes, and you need to get the right types of books to use for those classes, or you don't get the benefit from those classes that they offer. It's a great idea. You have students who are going to provide you extra bonuses for when they attend the right class, do the right thing, and have the right amount of books. They have research tasks, and research tasks for once actually mean something. Researching things like you do at a university. Great, makes sense to me. Now, all of that put together, you'd think would be this perfect, beautiful package that just kind of lays over it so you can play your game and interact with your opponents sometimes and do things that make you feel like you're doing something meaningful. And I wish that were true. I wish it was true. But it's not. And I'm going to explain to you why. Now, as I said, there are some great things in this game with great ideas and great things that not any game does. For example, you have the professors. First, they cost a certain amount just to get them in there. If you want to be the first one to do that, get them in there, pay the money, and put some books down. Now, the next person who uses that professor's class needs to provide those colored books in the amounts that you put down. So not only does the action change how you're getting to it, but it doesn't change what happens. So your access to the action changes, but the result is not different. So it takes the randomness out, but throws a little bit in there to make it worth your while. That's a great idea. And to me, that's where it stops. Now, admittingly, I've recorded this video 3 times. And the reason for that is I got angry because this game is not good. This game is the equivalent of hitting your head against a wall over and over and over, and feeling, because you just feel much better when you stop. Because this game is so clever that it isn't clever. It is so clever that it makes itself look dumb. Because this game is the equivalent of somebody just saying, like, look, you just wouldn't understand. You just didn't seem to understand the complexities and how serious to take the game. So that's probably why you didn't like it. That's the admittingly imaginary voice that I'm hearing here in the back of my head, because that's what it feels like to me. When I'm playing this game, I don't feel like I'm making smart choices. I'm feeling like the game is saying, look at this smart choice you can make, but you wouldn't really know why. You wouldn't really get it. You would, oh, that wasn't efficient. No. See, and I'm not blaming the designer. I'm not blaming anything like that. It just feels like a game that's very proud of itself. And too proud of itself, because some of the actions in this game make no sense in my mind. Now, I refuse to believe that's because I just don't know what the heck I'm doing. There's some actions that I'm sure is meant to maximize efficiency, but it doesn't do that. And if it does, it's such a minute way of doing it that it's not worth doing, even though the game is trying to convince you that it is. For example, here on the board, you have bookshelves, right? And you can put the books on them and sell them to other players. Fine in theory. But why in God's name would I ever do this? If I sell the books, I get money. Sometimes $2, $3, $4, depending on where the bookshelf is at the time. Great. And they get the resource in which they are using to improve upon the game. And it's saying, well, you're getting some money, so it's worth the trade-off. No, it's not. It's not worth it at all, because books are very important in this game, naturally, and you don't want to give them away. You just don't. Not to mention, that on its own, I could deal with. I could handle it. I could enjoy it. Fine. But you see this little tag here at the corner? Right there. That's points. I am giving you points. Not only I'm getting the money, you're getting the book and points, just for the privilege of buying something from me. I'm giving you points by allowing this to happen. I'm sorry, maybe it means I get to do things a little bit more efficiently because I got the money a little quicker than I normally would because I sold the book that I didn't need. Fine. A little roundabout, but I get it. But I'm not giving you points. That is, no. No. That makes no sense to me, and it's just not efficient. But they are claiming in the game that it is. Not to mention, in the rulebook itself, it says, hey, money is really important. Sure, I get it. Money is really important. And the reason money is really important is because there's a spot on the board where you can spend $10 to get 7 points. Just as an action. I frown upon buying victory points. I like to, do it at the end of the game. Fine. But just allowing me to do it throughout the game, is that why I want the money that you're giving me? So I can eventually just buy points? I know there's other ways to use money to buy books and things like that, but what? This isn't interesting. This isn't good game design. This is just doing things for the sake of doing them. And I know, I can hear you. Part of the puzzle is doing X, Y, Z, and to make sure you can really grok the puzzle in front of you. And that's fine, I guess. But there's other ways that could have happened. And I'm not saying I know what those ways are. But I'm saying these actions are not... I just don't see it. It's not adding to the game. It's just fiddling around for the sake of fiddling around. Not to mention, when the game starts, I'll grab these over here. You have an interesting way. You kind of like draft for your resources a little bit. So you pick your card, pass it around, and 3 of them you get to keep in your setup, and you get those resources, and it helps you pick turn order. I like that idea. I think that's swell. Now, this is before anything happens. I could have points given to me to start the game. What? So I either have the option of, well, this gives me 2 books in my library and 4 points. Why would I ever not take that card if points are so important? Because that's how you win the game. I know there's ways to use your points as means to do other things, but I can start the game at an advantage of 4 points by doing nothing. I didn't earn points. I just got handed 4 cards and thought, oh, this is the first one I'm taking. I did nothing to earn those points. That is mindless. I don't see the reason. I didn't earn it. I'm playing a game to do a thing to get points, but you just gave them to me to start the game, so why did I bother? Why am I bothering? I know I'm being dramatic, but it just seems so silly when there are other ways to get points that are really important on the board that are surrounded by your actions and things you do. To just give me some to start the game? What is the point? Why? It's just another thing they added that maybe it was like, oh, we'll give them some points because, you can use points as a strategy, but if points are important and money's important and you use the money to buy points, and the books, what's really important? And I know you're thinking, that's part of the game, Nick. That's part of the puzzle. No, it's not. It's just throwing a bunch of stuff at you through a cannon and just saying, find out what matters. Sorry, but I don't understand the point of giving me 4 points as an option to start the game, and then also giving me option to spend $10 to get 7 points, odd numbers, and then in the rulebook saying money is really important. For what? Just buying points? It can be used in other places, I realize, but this game has so many good ideas in it, and then just bogged it down with decisions that just ruined it for me. And I'm in the minority, and I realize there's a lot of people like this game. I do not. In fact, I think let's look at it this way. On my shelf right now, games that had designers involved with this game that I'm keeping, that I love. Grand Austria Hotel is better. Newton is better. Let's see, what else do I have here that it was partially made by them? Like Lorenzo Il Magnifico is better. Like I refuse to believe it's just because I didn't get it and I don't know any better. Coimbra was better. And people are saying replayability. Coimbra is perfectly fine, replayability. Maybe this has more replayability, but replayability doesn't matter if the things you're replaying are bad. That doesn't do it for me. Like, okay, the game is not good, but you could play it a lot and experience more of that not good? No, not for me. And I know I sound like I'm being harsh, and obviously I am, but it's, compared to the other games that they've been involved in, it's not even close. Now, Coimbra, I'm of the understanding, is the beginning of a trilogy. And then Alma is number 2. So there's a 3rd installment supposedly coming. And this company is very well known for doing these kind of episodic things. I will still buy the 3rd one and play it whenever it becomes a thing, if it ever does. I'm not knocking on the designer, just compared to these other games, I don't think they're even in the same stratosphere. But again, if you're the type of person who really likes to feel smart when they're playing and really wants to feel like everything involved is this bigger grand design that's kind of tying itself up at the end, and there's a way to make it perfect that way, then maybe you'll enjoy this. I find people who like much more complicated Euros, like farther, like up the Richter scale of difficulty, like the Lisboas of the world and even adjacent to that, I find those people like this game. I am not those people. This game seems like a game that is complex for the sake of complexity, and I'm not here for that. I am totally not opposed to complex games. I've played Vita Lacerda games and all those things. I've played games like that, and I do like some of them. But this one felt like it was doing it for the sake of it. To say that it could be complex and, oh, only the real gamers could understand what we're trying to do and put together here. That's what it felt like when I was playing this game. Is it the intention? Absolutely not. I do not think the designers had ill intentions in that regard. However, that's what it felt like. And it just completely took me out of the experience. And I do not want to play this game again. I'm getting annoyed looking at it. Because of all the wasted potential that could have been bogged down by a bunch of things that didn't need to be. And I guess that's the review. I would not own this game myself. I think if you're like mid-weight Euros, you can do 20 games better in the mid-weight Euro category than this. That's my 2 cents. So again, my name's Nick. I really do appreciate you coming to my channel of Until May and checking out the video. And if you disagree with my opinion, that is fine. I'm just letting you know what my experience was and what you may want to avoid if you're thinking of buying this, because this is a $70 game. This is not cheap. And when you're putting that much capital and that much coin towards the game, you really want to know, does it have that feeling or not before you get it? And I'm thinking, for me, it doesn't have the feeling at all. I just really wish it did. So that's it for the video, and check me out on Twitch, where I play role-playing games and other video games and stuff like that. And I'm on TikTok, Twitter. I think will be a link in the description. And let me know what you thought about the game yourself, because, as I said, a lot of people disagree. So, have a good one.
Through the wastelands, through the highways, and